Hello, my friends, Gary Gores and fellow poets. Welcome back to Conversing with Poets, and it is our New Year's edition because sadly, yes, I am, as you may already know, what's going on here? Working Christmas Eve. Nice. You're a legend. Thank you so much, Herb, right off the bat with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Herb. I really appreciate it. 9,200. I know we finally broke the 200 mark. This is probably where someone will inevitably unsubscribe just to take us back under 200. But yeah, we finally hit 9,200 subscribers, guys. I don't even know what to say about that. That's crazy. We're almost at that 10,000. We're almost there. So thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed and supported the channel. We're growing and growing and growing. I have good news for you. I have been in the edit room all day today editing the new video. I can't believe it's already been 5 months. Where did those 5 months go? It's been 5 months since the last video, but we have been streaming and doing shorts since then. But yeah, I've been editing the new video today. I'm using a new editing software. I used to use Adobe Premiere Pro, but I've got rid of that. It's too expensive. And so now I'm using DaVinci Resolve. So I'm learning a new editing software, so bear with me as I try and make my way through it. But hello, Mitch. Welcome to the stream. Hello, Delgale. Welcome to the stream. Hello, Danny. Welcome to the stream. Hello, Gary Goals. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Hello, Genevieve. Yeah, trust Adam to break something. I know. I don't know what was going on with the music. It flipped out for a second. It went into an Inception wormhole. But yeah, we got a good stream planned for you today. Let me just tell you what we've got planned for you tonight. So we've got lots of news articles for you, including a What the Fuckery AI Poetry has won. AI Poetry has won, guys. It's official. And we'll get to that in a minute. But we're also going to talk about Auld Syne. I'm going to read it for you because it's a famous poem by Robert Burns that is read out at New Year's Eve. So, of course, for our New Year's edition, we're going to read that out. And then our two topics for this evening are the importance of reflection as a poet, how important it is to reflect on things. And then in part two, we're going to discuss purpose as well. I can't remember if I gave you a poetry prompt last time out. So instead, I'm going to say that the prompt is cutting the ribbon. But if you have a better memory than me out there, which I'm sure you do, if you can tell me what that is, if we had a prompt from before, tell me what that is. Otherwise, we're going to go with cutting the ribbon because, of course, it's our New Year's Eve special. And yeah, we got quite a bit to get through tonight. So yeah, that's what we've got in store. Let me just catch up on the chat. I was in the mod card for a second. Hi, Mitch and Genevieve. Hello, all. Hi, Tanya. Welcome to the stream. Hello, Tanya. Good to see you. Hello, class. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the stream. Hello, everybody. The poets are assembling. It's good to have you all here. A quiet one, just me and Mitch this year. I hope your Xmas was just as relaxing. Nice. Yeah, if you haven't already, by the way, please do hit that like button. I'd really, really appreciate it. We've got 8 people watching, but only 2 likes. My heart breaks. Come on, guys, hit that like button. It's completely free. It takes just a few seconds, but it does really help me and the channel. And that goes to you as well if you're watching playback. I'd really, really appreciate it if you could hit that like button. As Herb pointed out, we have broken the 9,200 mark, which is insane. 9,200 subscribers. Yes, very quiet. To be honest, I like that because I'm a Grinch at Christmas. LD, we too had a quiet one. Oh, Little Danny. Little Danny, we too had a quiet one. Yeah, come on, folks. Don't forget to hit that like button. It has gone up to 4 likes now, so thank you so much. And by the way, did you know that we are on Discord now? We're still figuring out some teething issues, but we are on Discord. So if you want to continue the conversation after stream, the best place to do that is to head over to our Discord. We've got a general chat thread. We've got a poetry thread, which is titled Conversing with Poets. We have a paranormal thread and lots of other other bits and pieces. So do check that out and join us over on Discord. Yep, quiet Christmas. I also had a quiet Christmas, but do you know what, guys? I had the best Christmas I've had in a long, long time. In recent memory. I can't remember the last time I had a Christmas that was as nice as this one. It was really relaxed. It was really chilled. It was really wholesome. It was great. I loved it. I loved it. So just because it was quiet doesn't necessarily mean it was bad. I didn't get to watch Home Alone because I was working Christmas Eve. Maybe go out and keep up the hills for New Year. Number 5. Thank you so much, class. I'm not sure. I don't know if I understand that, Herb. Maybe go out and keep up the hills for New Year. Wear some heels on New Year's. Maybe I'll wear them to work. I don't know. I think I might get sent home. I was actually worried when I went in at New Year's, at Christmas Eve, because I work in a fancy place, if you like. I work security for a fancy place, and they don't like you to have stubble. Just you and little Harry. Same, had a quiet Christmas. Kick. Damn autocorrect. Maybe go out and keep up the kick for New Year. The only thing I'm worried about is Harry with the fireworks. Far too tall for hills. I could be 10 foot. I wore stilettos once for the Rocky Horror Show when back in my acting days. But yeah, wasn't quite 6'2" then. Hi Adam, hi all. Hope we've all had a great Christmas. Hi Dazzle, welcome to the stream. All right, I reckon kick up the hills, kick up your heels. Should we go into our news section? As I say, I've got some interesting news articles this time. All right, breaking news. Breaking news. Wait, we're going to come back to this one. Breaking news. AI poetry has officially won. I was searching up poetry news and this came up. AI judges poetry contest, picks AI poem as winner, then guesses it was written by human because it was too good for AI. What? Deutsche Bank analyst runs experiment, writes year-end AI poem, has ChatGPT write one, then asks Google's Gemini to judge them blindly. Round 1. Which poem's better? Gemini picks the AI poem, says the human version is more accessible, but the AI version shows depth and enduring insight with killer insights and lived frustration that makes it superior analytical literature. Ouch, indeed. Round 2. Which is which? Here's where it gets beautiful. Gemini declares the AI poem was obviously written by a human because it has perspective born from experience, not from scraping news articles, and shows nuanced understanding that is incredibly difficult for an AI to fake convincingly. Meanwhile, the actual human poem exhibits several hallmarks of a highly sophisticated large language model which, with its balanced, reasonable, and somewhat predictable conclusion. So the AI judge preferred the AI poem, couldn't identify it as AI, thought it was human specifically because it was too insightful for AI, and identified the human as AI because he was too reasonable. This is the AI confidence crisis in one experiment. The model can't recognize its own output, assumes better work must be human, and flags actual humans as synthetic for being coherent. The world has ended. We are all doomed. AI has won. So there you go. Once again, the headline is AI judges poetry contest, picks AI poem as winner, then guesses it was written by human because it was too good for AI. What do we have to say about that? Let me catch up in the chat real quick. Hi Adam, hi all, hi Dazzle. HH, no way, too many drunk people out, lots of police presence, which is a good thing. Adam in stilettos, 9,500 video. Oh, yeah. What, when we hit that as subscribers? Heck, I can't even stand up in stilettos, let alone dance in them. All this really tells me is that AI doesn't know AI. Same Tanya, I'm so intrigued how he did it, right? Oh, it's gone down. Hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on. That sounds about right for AI. I think AI needs to be put to bed now. Yep. AI is even running governments now. That's scary. That's scary, but actually that's a case over here in the UK. I remember someone in the Houses of Parliament pointing out how many politicians actually use AI. One Halloween, my husband dressed up as John Wayne, nice, and had 2-inch heels and complained the whole night. Nice. Okay, so there you go. AI, we've lost. AI has taken over and it's messed up. Okay, our next our next news article, 21-year-old's poem about having dinner with himself at every age is bringing people to tears. A simple story with a deeply profound message for us all. There are truths in life that are hard to put into words, which is why we have poetry. Couldn't have said it better myself. Let me read that one more time. There are truths in life that are hard to put into words, which is why we have poetry. A good poem can tap into human experiences and feelings in a way that touches us in ways prose simply can't. And when a poem resonates, it hits hard. Self-described young aspiring poet Joshua DeShutter shared a poem on Instagram that has gone viral for its simple yet profound message with the text, if you could be friends with every year of your life. Over the start of the video, DeShutter recites a spoken word poem about a dinner party with every version of himself. Well, there is the Instagram right there. Joshua's poetry. Joshua's poetry. I had dinner with myself 21 times last night, he begins. They all showed up, each year of my life. 15 came in naive, stuck in his own head. 1 and 2 were at the end of the table, taking turns being fed by 16. That's nice. Who's a little distracted trying to fit in. 11 wouldn't stop talking about how he wanted to be a policeman, and so on and so forth. That's really nice. Because most people don't have any friends, and I have 21, he says. Each of them who know everything that I've done. Walk when I walk, run when I run. They've gone to all of the places I've gone, and none of them could relate to each other. That's a really cool concept. That's a really cool concept. I don't know. I don't know if I could remember a version of myself for every single year. I can't even remember what I did yesterday, guys. I can't even remember who I was yesterday. But that is a really cool concept. And I've just checked chat. So one sec.
Wow.
Thank you so much, Daniel, in the dark for the 4.99 super chat. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I can't even remember who I was yesterday, let alone um, who I was every single year of my 33 years on this earth. Yikes, HH, that's nearly 3 inches. What did Herb say? One Halloween. My boots are about 7.5 centimeters. Very nice. I really want to get a pair of Wrangler boots. I really want to get a pair of Wrangler boots. I'll show you an image of them maybe after the break. All right, our next story then. Let's move on to our next story. Major research done in poetry for psychological treatment. The Minister of Diveni Language, Culture and Heritage, Adam Nasir Ibrahim, stated yesterday. Oh, hang on. The Minister of Dehevi Language, Culture and Heritage, Adam Nasir Ibrahim, stated yesterday that research has been done to give psychological treatment to those who are affected with literature. To those who are affected with literature. I am affected by literature. Doctor, I am affected by literature. I need some treatment. Research has been done to give psychological treatment to those who are affected with literature and poetry as a medium. What? Hang on. I can't get my head around that whole passage there. Adam Nasir Ibrahim stated yesterday that research is being done to give psychological treatment to those who are affected with literature and poetry as a medium. I'm sure I'm just not computing that properly, but it sounds like I'm infected by literature and poetry, doctor. Please, can you help me? I'm sure I just didn't read it properly. Yesterday, that research has been done to give psychological treatment to those who are affected with literature and poetry as a medium. While responding to a journalist as a press briefing, Minister Adam Nasir said that Deputy Minister Ibrahim Wahid has done research into possibility treatment via poetry. So poetry and literature is the treatment, not the cause. The minister said that a lot of research was done, with him having received it. As per the minister, research into providing psychological relief treatment via poetry is being done at Maldives National University and some private companies. However, the minister said that the only one that has been completed is the major research done by the deputy minister. The beginning the research into this treatment option and whether it is feasible was announced by the minister on World Poetry Day last year at the celebration. So, I guess that doesn't really come as a surprise to us as poets, and we've kind of spoken about it, I think, a number of times here on the channel about the therapeutic benefits of writing poetry. Um, I'm going to assume that this is just, I don't think whoever wrote this, I don't think English is their first language, but I was amused by my first interpretation of research is being done to treat those who are suffering from literature and poetry. But yeah, we all know the benefits of writing poetry. I think write 2 haiku and post them in the morning. I think my shoes from the mid-70s were 3 inches wood and echoed in the halls of learning. Oh wow, nice, with some flares, with some bottoms. I remember those days. Yeah, poetry is my therapist. Yeah, absolutely, class. I completely agree with that. Poetry is my therapy as well, for sure. All right. Let's move on to our last news headline for today then. A poet's call to rediscover and reimagine Central Park. 5 years ago, Adam Puchigian was lost in addiction. The COVID lockdown was in full force. He was isolated and filled with past regrets and anxiety about where he would get the money for more items. Eventually, Pushigan found himself uninspired, his items addiction zapping all of his creativity. He didn't interact with anyone, didn't see anyone, aside from the occasional trip to the deli. Addiction left him lonely, starved of the outside world. In desperation, Pushigan started going for hours-long walks through Central Park to take him out of his own head and into the real world, where he could find creative inspiration again. And from that, he created a poetry book called 4 Walks in Central Park, A Poetic Guide to the Park. published this fall by Familius Books. In its pages, he takes readers through the park, highlighting in prose-style poems fan favourites such as The Great Hill, the Diana Ross Playground, and the Turtle Pond. As always, I don't want to read the entire article for you. But once again, just another reason, just another example of how poetry is great for us, how poetry is therapeutic and it can save us. I did read this earlier. Ah, here it is. He made a rule for himself that he couldn't be high while on those walks. Then it turned into no items while writing about his walks either. Turns out he had a lot to write about. So there you go. What do we think about that? Um, awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. There's a picture of the poet as well. All right. Yep, poetry is my therapist. Okay, so it is our New Year's Eve special, right? It's not New Year's Eve special because it's not New Year's, but it is our New Year's special. And of course, what would a New Year's special on a poetry channel be if we didn't look at our old friend Robert Burns and his famous poem or song, Auld Lang Syne? And I did find a Britannica or is it yeah, Britannica page here that tells you all about the poem Ode Lang Syne, and it's really really interesting. So do give it a read, maybe whilst I'm reading or after the stream if you like. Again, it's on Britannica. Just type in Ode Lang Syne, Robert Burns, and it should come up. But what might be interesting before I ring, there's a Scots version here, and there's actually an English translation, which is really helpful because you guys know if you've been here long enough and seen my other streams where I read Burns in Scots dialect, I butcher it every single time. So I'm glad that I've got an English translation to read afterwards as well. But what might be helpful is to just what's here on this page is a meaning and a translation of Auld Lang Syne. What does it mean? It translates into English for for old time's sake or since long ago. So it can be translated to since long ago or for old time's sake. So remember that. I'll read the Scots version first and upset every Scottish follower I may have, probably won't have after, and then I'll read the English one. So Auld Lang Syne, which is sang or read, recited, um, all around the world at New Year's Eve. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and Auld Lang Syne? For Auld Lang Syne, my Joe, for Auld Lang Syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for Auld Lang Syne. And surely ye'll be your pint's stop, and surely I'll be mine, and we'll take a cup of kindness yet for Auld Lang Syne. We twa hae run about the braes and put the gowans fine, but we've wandered mony a weary foot sin Auld Lang Syne. We twa hae paddled the burn. I have no idea how to say that, sorry. We twa hae paddled the burn frae morning sun till dine, but seas between us braid ha roared sin Auld Lang Syne. And there's a hand, my trusty fere, and gie's a hand o' thine, and we'll tak a right guid willie wort for Auld Lang Syne. Subscribe account. Yeah, sorry. All right, the English version. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and Auld Lang Syne? Hang on. Old time's sake? Hang on. Let me just try and figure that out. For old time's sake, long ago, since long ago. I think for old time's sake, that would go to. All right, let me try again. Right. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and old lang syne? For hang on, I need to I'm trying to it says here in front of me the words are for old lang syne, but I want to read it with the meaning. So let me write it down so I actually have it to as since long ago. Since long ago and for old time's sake. For old time's sake. Alright, I'll do my best. Otherwise, it is what it is. Since long ago, for old time's sake. How can I prop it up? All day. Should old acquaintance be... No, that's the Scots version. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot for old time's sake? For old time's sake, my dear, for old time's sake. We'll take a cup of kindness yet, for old time's sake. And surely you'll buy your pint cup, and surely I'll buy mine, and we'll take a cup of kindness yet, for old time's sake. We two have run about the slopes and picked for the daisies fine, but we've wandered many a weary foot since long ago. We two have paddled in the stream from morning sun till dine, but seas between us broad have roared since long ago. And there's a hand, my trusty friend, and give me a hand of thine, and we'll take a right good will draught for old time's sake. There you go. We got there in the end. We got there in the end. But there you go. That is Auld Lang Syne by Robert Burns. I don't know which one I butchered more. I don't know if I butchered the Scots version more than the English version. That's right, Adam. Lol, for the song version at least. Continue the conversing once the stream is over in Adam's new Discord. Thank you so much, Danny. Yeah. All right. So our first topic of this evening is what? What is it? That's a good question. What is it? I was signed out for a second there. The importance of reflection. It is New Year's Eve. Why am I getting signed out? Hey, what's going on? Oh, it's all falling apart, Gary goes. It's all falling apart. Why did I suddenly get logged out of the stream card? Right, I'm back in the stream card. The importance of reflection. It is our New Year's stream, and it is a time of reflection, especially now that Christmas is done. Now, maybe some of us are turning our attention to what we're going to do in the new year. Maybe we're turning our attention to the year that's gone by. If you're a Gary girl, if you're a channel member, you would have seen my stream just gone, my Christmas Eve stream, where I talked about reflecting on the year that's just gone by and my year ahead. And I'm not necessarily asking, I mean, if you want to share your reflections on the year you've had, if you want to share on the reflection of what you hope for 2026, by all means, put it in the chat. I would love to know. It's great to get to know you guys better, but we're not necessarily going to do that. I just want to talk about the importance of reflection as a poet, as an artist, and the role it plays in in our craft, in what we do. Stop breaking things, Adam. I know it's great. I think the English version, yeah, I butchered both of them. Changed to for old time's sake for the olden days. From what I read, it's from a West Germanic language unique to Scotland. Nice. Stop breaking things, Adam. I can't help it. I can't help it. So, yeah, what do we think about the importance of reflection as artists, as poets, as creatives, but also as humans as well, right? As humans as well. I did find this article called Reflection and the Edit, Part One, from the Open University. And yeah, let me just read some of the words here. Reflecting on your work underpins your entire practice. It is essential to be able to look objectively at your work and really review things such as why you have done something, how does it work, is it a success, or does it require more development, thought? How would it be improved, and the specifics of why it has worked, not worked. There is no right or wrong way to reflect, and one size does not fit all. You need to find your own way to do it successfully. And then there's actually some bullet points at the bottom there, or not at the bottom, not even halfway through. But it does follow some bullet points with some tips and ideas to help you reflect. And then I think all the other bullet points I have are for part two. 2026, learning more classic meter and form. Nice. Yeah, I've only got the one link for reflection. I like that. So that actually talked about reflection as a tool, as a means of improving your work, as a means uh, of work, which I did actually think about. Reflect. Right now, I'm trying to learn the Spenserian sonnet. The mirror of the path, the great arc's reflection, looking beyond the mirror, where the next arc is shaped. Nice. Thank you. Thank you, Herb. I'm assuming with those forward slashes that is a poet or book recommendations. The only reason I say that is because of the capitalization. But yeah, so that's actually a reflection as a extension of our work. I was thinking more about how important it is to reflect as a person, as a poet, reflect on ourselves, and also reflect on the life around us and the world and the things that's going on in the world. And the reason I bring this to the table is I saw one of my friends last night. I went clubbing at 33 last night. It was interesting. It was yeah, quite something. I haven't been clubbing since I was 20. I don't think I've been clubbing since I was 22. So I reckon 11 years it's been since I've been clubbing. But anyway, we were catching up. I don't get to see them very much at all anymore because they've moved all out of the area. And he was just saying about how he was given the advice to just sit in silence, and he's going through some life changes at the moment, and it was scaring him. And he was telling me about how one of his other friends gave him the advice to just sit in the uncomfortable silence and reflect on everything. And that's kind of what inspired this, because it got me thinking. And I've sort of walked away with it and like, yeah, I need to sit in some silence, and I need to reflect on things. And that's why I brought this to the table, because I think we can also take that over into being poets, into our craft of poets. And I think we probably do it naturally, but into the coming year, I think when people reflect on the last year, it's good for everybody to do it and see that you have learnt about yourself with different problems, and take that with you into the new year, into the coming year. Absolutely. Absolutely. New journal design. I've been journaling the last couple of nights. I've been really, really getting into it, actually. I've always wanted to make an actual effort at journaling. So, but come on, guys, let me know in the chat. What do we think about reflecting? How big of an importance do you put on reflection as a poet, in your work as a poet, uh in your being? I don't know. I don't know how to word it. I see some people are over in Discord right now. Oh, that's very nice. Thank you, Genevieve. Genevieve's put all the links in our Discord. There you go, you see? Thank you, Genevieve. By the way, we have 9 people watching and just 6 likes. So please, if you're enjoying this, if you're finding it interesting, if you're finding it entertaining, please do hit that like button. I'd really, really appreciate it. And that includes you if you're watching on playback too. I think it is easy to stay too busy or uncomfortable to reflect. I think it is easy to stay too busy or uncomfortable to reflect on our life or our work, but also really useful to sometimes take a step back and really look at what is going on. Yeah, I'm really vibing with this. I'm really digging this right now. Again, because of the conversation I had with my friend yesterday, I've been thinking about it and I've been putting it into practice even today. Just sitting with things and stopping and turning everything off in terms of audio, just sitting there and really sitting with it and asking myself how I feel about that. How do I really feel about that? And figuring it out. Class retracted a message. Comments help your YouTube algorithm too. They absolutely do, Herb. Thank you so much for mentioning. Yeah, so if you're watching this play on playback, please don't be afraid to leave a comment. Herb, I know that you've left a few comments lately. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And sometimes the discomfort is worth it. Of course, sometimes people can get lost in overthinking. Yeah, that's also me. I'm not gonna lie. That's also me. It's like, who's seen the new season of Stranger Things? No spoilers in the chat. No spoilers in the chat whatsoever. But I have been watching the new Stranger Things, so I guess it's fresh on my mind. But it's like, for those who have watched it, Eleven, who's the main character, when she goes into like she goes into a bathtub and then she's in some sort of void. If you've seen it, you know what I mean. If you haven't seen it, I sound crazy, but you guys are used to that now. That's me getting lost in overthinking. Part of my daily practice, meditation, is to reflect on death, physical, emotional, ego, to learn in every interaction I have throughout the day. 9201. Oh, we're on 9201. We gained a subscriber whilst being live. Hello, new subscriber. It's so good to have you here. 9201. We're almost at that 10,000, folks. We're almost at that 10,000. But yeah, class, I really like that. That's something I'm going to start doing as well. That's what I'm going to take into the new year. After this conversation I've had and after us talking here, that's what I'm going to take into the new year. Just training myself to be comfortable with just sitting and thinking and reflecting and and understanding things. I've been feeling really creative. I think I said in the last stream, I've been feeling that bubble of wanting to write something, and it's still there, and it's getting bigger. And I think I think I'll be writing soon. I know that sounds like, well, why don't you just write now? But this is my process. When I feel the bubble, I just allow it to bubble because I don't know what I want to write about. I guess it's a subconscious thing. I'm just waiting for my subconscious to bring it forward, and then bang, there we go. Welcome. Say hello. We don't bite. Yes, welcome. Say hello. And if you're watching and enjoying it, please don't feel like you can't get involved in the chat. We love to see new faces in the chat. We love to hear your opinions. Just keep it respectful. I haven't said this in a while. The only rules here at Conversing with Poets is we don't talk politics, we don't talk religion, and we just keep it respectful. Such a good skill to practice. what, just sitting there and just reflecting and understanding and figuring it out. That's what I want to do. And I don't know what it is. I don't know why, but it actually excites me to do that. Like I'm actually excited to do that. I don't know why. I guess it's because the last 2 weeks have been amazing. The last 2 weeks have been such a rest, such a like an overload of respite. I'm feeling fully charged. I'm feeling excited. I'm feeling happy. I think that's why I can feel something bubbling up ready to be written. All I thought of when you said that was 24601. I'm lost. 90210. That's a hard question for me, Adam. Maybe in time. I sit in silence a lot, inside and outside. Reflection turns to memories over the past year. I guess I can say survive. Yes, and I completely understand and sympathize. I can't empathize. Did I get that the right way round? Uh, and I completely understand that, Tanya. I know that feeling of preparation. Yeah, I feel like something is approaching. And instead of a big scary monster of writer's block approaching, it's a big fluffy yeti of creativity. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I talk a load of nonsense. And new subscribers, you will soon get to know me that I do talk, I don't know, nonsense. The thing in this world, it's such a rat race. People just too busy and can't just stop and look around them. For sure. And I think it's a huge thing for poets to be able to do that. Not just observe, but reflect. I would say I would put reflection and observation on equal par of importance in terms of like just lifestyle. There's just the poetic, the artistic lifestyle. You have to be able to reflect, I think, which is something I'm excited to get better at. I don't know why it excites me, but it does. And I want to get back to being observant. I used to be so good at seeing the finer details in life. When I used to walk every day and just go on adventures, I used to see poems in things, and now not so much. I got too wrapped up in work this year. The Yeti of creativity, new emoji. Okay, someone has to remind me to create a emoji either for the Discord or for the channel members of the Yeti of creativity. New emoji. Well, sometimes a reverie of poets is a lot like young adult TV dramas. Is the reflection the processing, digestion of the observation? You're right. Yes. So it's like, yeah, exactly. It's the process. It's the process of processing. It's the process of processing the creative Yeti. That's what it is. Our brain needs space to see those things for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. But yeah, you're right. It's the conveyor belt. It's the process. You got to observe, then you got to reflect, and then you got to write. There's the new channel merch. Observe, reflect, write, and then a picture of a fluffy yeti, a blow-dried yeti. And if that doesn't earn your like on this stream, I don't know what will. I used to watch that every day after school, elementary, high school. So we're going to take a 5 minute break in about 15 minutes. So as a little reminder, we've got a poetry prompt challenge set. The prompt is cutting the ribbon, footsteps in the snow. Thank you so much, whoever put that in the prompt card. We have amazing mods. We have the best mods at this channel, guys. And can we share some love in the chat? Can we share some love in the chat for our amazing mods? Who do so much to support me and keep me propped up and make sure that things are enjoyable for you. So please, lots of love in the chat for our mods, real quick before we continue. But yes, our poetry prompt is cutting the ribbon / footsteps in the snow. So I'll ask for those poems to be submitted in the chat after the break, once we get back from the break. There you go. Yes, all the hearts. Flood the chat box with hearts for our mods, please, everyone. Hi, everyone. I'm sorry to be late, but better late than never. Hello, pumpkin lover. Welcome to the stream. We're just talking about the importance of reflection as a poet and just as a human being. It's probably healthy as a human being. Yeah, there we go. All the hearts in the chat for our fantastic mods. Thank you so much for what you do, Danny and Genevieve, to keep the streams going, to keep me going, to keep me propped up. I appreciate it. Poetry challenge prompt: cutting the ribbon, New Year's Eve, or New Year's, I keep saying Eve, New Year's inspired, and also footsteps in the snow. Damn, I only have footsteps in the snow. That's okay, class. I only set cutting the ribbon at the start of this stream, so don't worry about it. If you can write two, one for each, great. If you can only get footsteps in the snow, great. If you can only get cutting the ribbon, great. Everything's great, guys. Everything's great. I like the probably healthy as a probably healthy. It is healthy. It is healthy. I don't know why I said probably. It is healthy. Reflection is healthy as a human being. Probably. I don't know why I said probably. By the way, before we go, another little plug. I am on Instagram. I'm trying to get my numbers up on Instagram. I would love to hit 1,000 Instagram followers. So if you are on Instagram and you want to know what I get up to in my day-to-day life and my poetry journey, my own personal poetry journey, you can follow me on Instagram, which is Adam Gary Poetry. I think. I've forgotten it. Yeah, it's got to be Adam Gary Poetry. It is. It's Adam Gary Poetry. I forgot my own Instagram for a second there. And of course, we're over on Discord too. If you want to join us on Discord, hopefully one of our mods can quickly put it in the chat one more time. If you want to follow us on, or do you follow on Discord or do you join Discord? I'm not sure, but join, I guess. Join our Discord. Genevieve has already shared all the links that we're going to be using in this stream. So, you can even get ahead of us. If you're in the Discord, you can head over to the into the message that Genevieve just put in Conversing with Poets, and you can see all of the links for part 2, even if you want to get ahead. Thank you so much, Danny and Genevieve. So, with all that being said, let's take a 5-minute break now. Let's go and grab a coffee, go to the loo, whatever we need to do. That's what I say at my open mics. That's my open mic line. I've brought it into stream. Let's go and grab a coffee, top up on refreshment, and when we get back, we'll share our poems from our prompts of cutting the ribbon, which is New Year's inspired, and footsteps in snow. So, see you in 5. Welcome back. Hello, everybody. Hello, Gary Girls. Welcome back to part two of tonight's Conversing with Poets. We have a poetry prompt challenge to get through, and we have our second topic for this evening, which is purpose, which kind of ties in. I can see what my brain did here. It actually ties in quite a bit with reflecting and purpose. So we are going to look at that in part two. So just let me know that you're back by sending me a wave in the chat, or just letting me know that you're back, or if you're a channel member, you can put the thumbs up thing, you can put the coffee thing, you can put this weird Home Alone thing in the chat. Whatever it is, just let me know that you're back from the break so that I know we're all met and we're all ready to get going again. I have a nice coffee. In my Shakespeare mug, because of course, why not? On the other side, if you don't know if you haven't seen this mug yet, it says, it's a Shakespeare quote. Timon of Athens says, "I do wish thou were a dog, that I might love thee something." Hi, Tanya. Hello, Danny. Danny and Tanya are back from their break. We are met, not all, but hopefully soon we will all be met. So do let me know in the chat if you're here. Hi guys, hello Lotus Flower, welcome back to the stream, welcome back to the channel, good to see you. We're just getting started for our part two, where we're going to talk about purpose, but we also have a poetry prompt challenge, which I'll do in a few minutes. So if you want to get involved, the prompt is footsteps in snow, I believe it was, and cutting the ribbon. Yeah, footsteps in snow and cutting the ribbon. Either or both. Hello, Genevieve. Genevieve is back. Welcome back, Genevieve. Good to have you. Good to see you here. Ding, 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 ding. I actually thought of something to tell you. Oh, yeah. Who wants to know how easily amused I am? So I was on Amazon yesterday. I was on Amazon yesterday, and I bought a big bulk load of hand wash. Yep, Dazzle's back. Hello, Dazzle. Yeah, I bought a big bulk big bulk buy of hand wash, and with it, the little motion sensor hand dispenser, and I've been having a great time. Like when I first got the Stream Deck and I loved pressing all the buttons, I've been having a great time using the new motion sensor soap dispenser. Yep, I live an exciting life. I live an exciting life. Maybe I'll write. Maybe that will be my new poem. Maybe that will be my poem that is bubbling inside. Soap dispenser. Yeah. 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 Anyway, crickets. Anyway, let's move on from the excitement of hand dispensers and let's talk about poetry. Let's talk about what you guys are doing, what you guys are working on right now while we wait for some folks to get back from break. What are you guys writing? What are you guys hoping to write? What are you guys working on? What are you guys creating? If you're not writing, maybe you're creating something else. Maybe you're in a different medium at the moment, like sculpture or something. I don't know. Let me know in the chat. You've just been sitting there dispensing soap. Yeah. The height of excitement in the modern day per Adam Gary. What? Hey. Yes, I have been. Yes, I have been. Just sitting there dispensing soap. I've been looking for every reason to wash my hands. I need to look into that, Adam, to put near my kitchen sink. They're really fun and convenient, and they're on Amazon. So my mind goes in loops, thinking of all the reasons why you want to wash your hands. Yeah, sometimes at the moment, because I've got this excitement for a new gadget, I will just wash my hands and then wash them again. So that's the end of my 2025. That's how I'm ending 2025. All right, let's hear some poetry. If you have a poem from our poetry prompt challenge, which is Footsteps in Snow or Cutting the Ribbon, maybe you have both, in which case great. Let's see them in the chat right now. Let's start putting them in the chat so I can read them out. And then we'll talk about our part 2 topic, which is purpose. Creative OCD. Purpose. I can't remember the lyrics now. Has anyone seen Avenue Q? Harry probably thinks, yep, that's my dad. Yeah, he must be so proud. Yep, that's my dad, the soap dispenser guy. I No, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was gonna say I am sane, I promise, but I'm absolutely not. Sorry if you can hear me slurping. This is very, very hot. I'm gonna put. Yep, that's my dad. I had a nut. Do you know, talking about having conversations with my friend yesterday, who was telling me about sitting in silence and who, that conversation inspired the topic for part 1. We also had like a really deep conversation about fatherhood and stuff and being a dad, being an actual dad. Yeah, I was saying like we were imagining me as a dad having a little Adam or Adamina running around. And if you wasn't here, by the way, for the start of the stream, I have been editing. I have been editing our next video. It's only taken 5 months. But in fairness, yes, I was super busy, but also I literally had a computer that couldn't open an editing software. I can now open an editing software and it not crash. So yeah, I've been editing. I would say I'm about a quarter of the way through. Adamina, there's a name, yeah. I'm about a quarter of the way through, but it is a new editing software. I'm using DaVinci Resolve instead of Adobe Premiere Pro, so I'm also learning a new software, so bear with me, guys. Footsteps in the snow. I wonder how far they'll go. Oh dang, I fell down. So now I frown. What's in the distance? I'll never know. Sanity. It's so close to insane. We all need to have an insanity moment. Yeah. I feel like I have a fair few moments of insanity on these streams alone, let alone in day-to-day life. Sanity. Sanity, sanity, sanity. We only have the one poem, guys? Do we only have the one poem for the challenge, for the prompt challenge, folks? Trying to get comfy. I'm trying to get comfy. I'll give it another couple minutes to see if any more poems come in. Poetry. Sanity poetry doesn't exist. No, never mind. Try again, Adam. Visit my website, adamgary.co.uk. Sorry, I was just reading down here. Although what you're seeing down here is different to what I'm currently seeing because I'm watching the preview playback, which is about a couple of seconds behind. Just to make sure that everything is running smoothly. Although I don't like the new stream interface, they've changed it recently and I don't think it's for the better. We just head over to Discord and check the mod chat. No, we're all good. Everything's going good. Everything's going good. My creative juices aren't here tonight, unfortunately. Did you just confuse yourself? Probably. Can't even remember. This is what I mean when we were talking about the poem of 21 versions of ourselves. I can't even remember what I said to confuse myself, but probably. Yep. I have a quick crappy poem. There's no such thing as a crappy poem, class. But yeah, please put it in the chat, class. A sign that Adam is A-OK, Genevieve. A-OK. A-OK. I've got a bit of a sore throat. As I said, if you weren't here at the start of the stream, I went clubbing last night for the first time in 11 years and had no idea what I was doing. But my throat is sore from shouting over the music. I remember that much. Also, going clubbing sober is very different to going clubbing and drinking, right? But it is fun. You notice a lot more when you're sober. I'm just trying to have a look if I might not have the app anymore because I thought I don't need it anymore. No, I don't think I do. Let's have a look. I deleted it. I think I'm something like 3 years sober, maybe. Maybe more. I can't remember. I don't even know like the passage of time anymore. But I deleted the app, so poem, footsteps in snow mark each day past. I grow as an oak tree's annual rings, cutting the ribbon, outlast carbons sing. Nice. Thank you, class. I have a few myself. I laugh at myself at times to tears. I know my husband and Louis think I am strange. I find things so funny at inappropriate times. That's the best time to find things funny. It kills me not to laugh. I literally have to walk out of the room, yeah. And the more you tell yourself, I can't be laughing, the more you have to fight it. I wouldn't know. Only been clubbing once and at a bar once and was sober both times. When I turned 18, I was in the club 3 times a week, sometimes 4 times a week. I'd go Monday, Wednesday, and then usually I would go Monday, Wednesday, and either Friday and Saturday. But sometimes I'd go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. The doorman, the bouncers got to know us, our little group. We were there that often. Poem. This poem is quite crap. You cannot argue with that. But let's cut the ribbon, give scissors to a gibbon, and go give a dog a pat. Very good, Genevieve. Very good, Genevieve. Nice. I love it. I love it. Well done, guys. Well done. Yay, Adam. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And I think I've been sober like 3 years, maybe 4 years, and I haven't smoked for about the same. I haven't smoked a little bit longer than I haven't drunk, I think. Something like that. But I deleted the tracking app, so now I actually don't know. It's probably in my journal somewhere, actually. I could probably, if I really went on a hunt and wanted to find out, it's probably in my little journal. On 3 or more years. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's go into our topic for part 2, shall we? Which is purpose. And again, it's closely tied to reflection. And I think we have spoken about the purpose of a poet, the meaning of being a poet, what it is to be a poet. So maybe maybe we'll look at, rather than what is the purpose of being a poet, finding your purpose as a poet. Because as I always say, nobody has written nobody. If you want to write a love poem, right? Nobody's written a love poem the way you write a love poem. Nobody has written a poem about dogs the way you write a poem about dogs. And so maybe we have to consider our purpose as poets as well as our purpose in life. But that's more of the reflectiveness coming out. Congratulations, Adam. I'm coming up to 2 years no smoking, which is a big thing for me. Congratulations, class. I'm so happy for you. Well done. My first clubbing session, I was 20. Nice. That's okay. That's okay. Because, listen, as I say, when I turned 18, I was in the club up to 4 times a week. By the time I was 21, I was over it. I was done. I was like, been there, done that. Although I did go to Vegas for my 21st and went clubbing there. But then by 22, I think yeah, I was done. Didn't want to go either. I went for a then friend's 18th and hated it. Oh no, I'm sorry. Well done, Adam. You should be very proud of yourself. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's have a look at our first article for purpose as an artist, purpose as a poet. And it's a article here called Find Your Purpose as an Artist by Syne Terranova. And it was published on April 18th, 2020. I've recently read an article about how young people who engage themselves in climate change activism saw a reduction in mental health symptoms. According to the article, climate change activism has helped to counteract powerlessness and a sense of being done to. Okay, I don't disagree, but what? Activism seems to reduce anxiety and isolation. Said that weird. Isolation. Isolation and give more positivity to those who are taking part in it. Okay. Mental health is here again. Again, it seems to be a theme. Seems to be a theme for this evening, unintentionally. Okay, what have I found here? Whereas goals can change along the way, absolutely, keeping track of your purpose. What is your purpose? All right, so where is the artist part? Let me quickly skim this. Okay, I'm going to move on from this article because not though I don't disagree with everything that's being said, I can't find the poetry or the artistic part of it. So I may end up going on a long tangent, which you guys are used to now, I'm sure. Uh, but anyway, let's move on to this one, which is your why as an artist from the Curator's Salon. Your why as an artist. Another common idea I come across among new artists is that they want the focus to be on the artwork and not their own inner exploration. They are quick to reject suggestions of looking inward or talking about why they make art and what their art is about. This is very closely related to what we said in part one. The issue becomes a separation of the self from the art, as if making art was purely a production exercise. These artists then try to wrap ideas around the artwork, and it is rarely convincing. In presenting your art to the world, both you as the artist and your story are integral to gaining any traction if you want to make being an artist a career. The next step is to ask what informs the ideas in your work. This is very much about the inner reflection and um, getting to understand yourself and finding your purpose. The next step is to ask what informs the ideas in your work. Again, I've worked with artists who don't want to look at why they picked a topic and wish the subject itself to be standalone. The more you own it and reflect on why something interests you, the easier it will be able to connect the dots and create a narrative in your purpose as an artist. If you have a hard time talking about yourself and your ideas, try journaling about why you were drawn to or pulled towards a particular subject, topic, or text that informed your work. Often the answer is linked to an emotion or a feeling. Again, I'm not going to read the whole article. Let me just catch up on chat before we move on to the last article for this section. Bye, Genevieve. Until next year. Hang on. I'm just going to get my chat is freezing. Yes, see you all next. My chat is not. Okay, I guess that Genevieve left. My chat is lagging. Bye, Genevieve. Sorry that I didn't get to say goodbye to you live. My chat is lagging and it's um still lagging. I don't know why. But thank you so much, Genevieve. Maybe I can see it on the screen here on the preview. I've got to run away. Sounds like an interesting part two coming up. Hope you guys all enjoy. Bye, Genevieve. You're probably long gone now, but if you watch back on playback, I want you to know that I did say goodbye. Gifting unfolds cups bringing magic. I am having a tough time with my chat box, folks. So I apologize if I can't get to. What if I pop it out? Yeah, my chat box is lagging for some reason. No other part of YouTube is lagging, but this is. Oh gosh. My whole YouTube is just flatlined. Genevieve took my YouTube with her. If I'm still live, YouTube has just gone completely unresponsive. Hang on. Am I still live in the mods chat? YouTube has completely crashed, I'm afraid. Okay, I think I'm back. I've refreshed. We can see you. Okay, I'm back. That's better. All right. For whatever reason, YouTube was just not having any of it. I think purpose is all an illusion, since each day comes to us differently and on its own terms. This is true. This is true. We may think we have purpose, but life does not always agree with that and throws tons of curveballs. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I think you're right in the sense that, of course, life throws at us curveballs. And, you know, we are different creatures as humans, right? We're still animals, we're still mammals, whatever. Um, I think. Is that right? Homo sapiens. Are we mammals? I don't know. Did I just embarrass myself on stream? We're still part of the animal kingdom. We just have something extra. We're just a little bit odd in comparison to the rest of the animal kingdom. And they don't wake up in the morning, as far as we know, they don't wake up in the morning and go, what is my purpose in life? Their purpose in the day is to survive, like is to find food, find shelter, raise their young if they have any. We're kind of the oddballs that go, what is the meaning of life? You know, what do we do? So I agree in that part, in the sense that we think we have purpose, and it is perhaps a human invention. But I also think that for me, I have to have a purpose. I have to, I feel like I have a purpose, especially with all the stuff that I'm doing with the laureateship. It gives me purpose. It fulfills me. It fills my soul. Um, yeah. Bye, Lotus Flower. I missed that as well. Yes, Adam, we can hear you. We can see you. I can see you. Bye. Bye, Lotus Flower. Sorry, that was part of my poem. That, for some reason, couldn't stand. Oh, I thought you was leaving us. Yes, we are mammals. Moo. Um, yeah, I've completely lost my train of thought, guys. I've completely descended into my madness. We are all born with purpose. I truly believe once you have fulfilled your purpose, you are called home. Yes, yeah. But let me get back to this article about purpose as an artist, right? This next article is what's the point? What's the point? The artist's search for meaning in a broken world. And we got a Mark Twain quote here. The two most important days in your life are the day you were born and the day you find out why. I like that. When the news is bad, whether it's global, local, or personal, I inevitably I inevitably find myself questioning more than ever why I do what I do when it appears to not be changing the world. Do I think that's a healthy? Maybe I need to read on. Maybe it's early days in this article. Maybe I need to read on. But my immediate thought to that, my immediate reaction to that is that's not healthy. Why I do what I do when it appears to not be changing the world. Crikey. I mean, if you set out to change the world, uh, that's a heavy weight to carry on your shoulders, is all I'm gonna say. But maybe I need to read on a little bit. And if not, why am I here? That's quite heavy. That's a lot of pressure you're putting on yourself there. As a creative person yourself, you'll recognize this kind of existential angst when we question the value of what we do whilst forests are burning and constitutional crises looming. But this is precisely when we need to buckle down and hold firm. We are needed more than ever. To stand fast in understanding our own meaning and purpose is perhaps the most important part of our work. You know what? I'm going to head into the chat for this. Is that how you guys feel? Is that how you guys feel? For me, that's a big weight to carry. I don't ever think when I'm creating, when I'm writing, I never think of the audience, let alone how it's going to change the world. I don't ever set out to change the world. I just set out to express something I feel um, inclined enough to it get off my chest that needs to be taken from in here and put onto page. And then I share it and people enjoy it. And I'm lucky that people, resonate with what I write. But I never set out to change the world. Unless I'm missing something. Maybe I'm taking this too literally what this article is saying, but I'm curious, is there anyone in the chat? And please, I won't like no judgments. I do think that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself as an artist, but no judgments ever. Is that does anyone set out to do that with their work? To sit down and go, I'm going to create a piece that will change the world. Maybe I'm in the wrong. Maybe that's where I'm going wrong. Maybe I should be sitting down to try and change the world with my creations. We may have purpose, but it can be thwarted, was my point. Yeah. No, I agree with that, Pumpkin. Lotus flower, I talk about that quite a bit in my posts. Still here. Ah, sorry, I thought you were saying goodbye to us. Purpose and finding it can be so vast though. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Oh yeah, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's easy. Fulfilling purpose might not be easy, but recognizing your purpose, maybe. Maybe. I mean, yeah. It just goes back to maybe asking your question, what is the purpose of poets? We're all poets, so what is the purpose of poets? Changing the world, some might say. YouTube chat has frozen. Just you looking confused. As always, right? As always. So apparently the chat has frozen on screen. So give me a second, guys, and I'm gonna update that. Purpose. Pumpkin lover, that is life. Life has many curves, roadblocks. We must continue. Your life has been written. Maybe if you can change your world inside, you can change what's around you in a small way. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we definitely have. I firmly believe we have the power to change the world around us, what's around us. Um, and, if you're lucky enough, I'm not saying it's impossible. If you are lucky enough, you can change art that will change the world. But whether I think you should sit down, I don't know. I'm still waiting to hear if any your thoughts on this, chap. Please don't be shy, because I'm genuinely interested if I'm just the one doing it wrong. I'm genuinely has I'm genuinely curious to know if I'm the one that's been doing it wrong. Maybe I should sit down to write a poem to change the world. I do think that we can change the world around us, just by our attitude, just by our outlook, just by our generosity, our kindness, and in fact, the opposite too. Sometimes if we find ourselves in a moment of darkness, um, that will affect the world around us, the community around us, for sure. I believe that we all. I believe in energies around the world. I believe that there are energies and I'm struggling here. It's very difficult to know what's true and what's false on the internet now. It's all full of AI, fake news, and make believe. But I've read recently that we are connected to each other, especially those that we form bonds with. Platonic, romantic, whatever you want to call it. If your dog lays on your chest, your heartbeats synchronize. Same with your partner. Same with your friends. I think there's going off of that, whether you're in a good mood, in a bad mood, you can affect the world around you, for sure. I've gone on a bit of a tangent there. I've gone a bit off script there. Um, I'm still curious to know if anyone sits down. Please, if you do, please, I promise you, there's no judgments. If you do sit down to write poetry that will change the world, let me know, because maybe I need to change. Maybe I need to change. It just seems like a lot of pressure, but maybe that's what artists are supposed to be. But Tanya, I don't think anyone knows their true purpose. It's not easy to figure out. Darkness is okay. Without it, there would be no need to welcome the light. True. Lotus flower. Sometimes we do not realize our being changes someone's life without knowing what. Be you, stay kind, smile at a stranger, say hello. Perfect. That's exactly what I mean. Absolutely. That's exactly what I mean. They say a smile travels 100 miles. You smile at one person who smiles back and then looks over to another person while still smiling, and they think you're smiling at them, so then they smile, and the smile continues. It's a nice thought. It's a nice thought. Unless you live in London, where if someone smiles at you, or you smile at someone, they think you're a weirdo. All right, let me get back to reading this article then. When the news is bad, as a creative person, you'll recognize this kind of existential angst when we question the value of what we do whilst forests are burning and constitutional crises are looming. But this is precisely when we need to buckle down and hold firm. We are needed more than ever. That I agree with. I think artists are needed right now more than ever To stand fast in understanding our own meaning and purpose is perhaps the most important part of our work. Finding our meaning and a way to make it real and to become truly fulfilled is especially important for creative people. I know from my own experience that without real meaning in our lives, we can soon slide down a slope of insecurity. Um, I don't know. I don't know if I'm agreeing with a lot of these articles tonight. Anyway, I'll put, or Danny will put a link to that article in the chat, but I don't know if I'm agreeing with all of that. All poems change worlds, perspectives on a daily, anyway, without the poets even trying. You could perceive the poem completely different to the poet, etc. Absolutely, Adam. We are all world changes, be it small or big. I love that. We're all world changes, be it small or big. I like that. That that's cool about the smile thing, 100 miles. Yeah. Yeah, you smile at someone, they smile back, and then while they're smiling at you, they look to someone else who then thinks they're smiling at them, who will smile back and the same, and then it's a chain reaction. One little smile, as I say, unless you live in London. If you smile at someone in London, they'll frown at you and think you're weird. Poets are advocates working in the background. I love that. I'll pop it in again just in case. What's the point? The artist's search for meaning in a broken world. Thank you, Danny. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. By the way, I haven't said this yet, but if you are enjoying this stream, if you're finding it interesting, please do hit that like button. I really, really appreciate it. The more likes, the better. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. And if you're watching right now and you have some thoughts, please do share them in the chat. Please feel confident to do so, whatever that may be. Obviously, keep it respectful. We stay away from politics and religion because they're the two most divisive topics in the world, and that's not what we're here to do. Here, we- we're here to enjoy each other's company and just talk poetry for a couple of hours. So yeah, please, if you're watching and you're not in the chat yet, what would a Conversing with Poets stream be without the conversing? You guys in the chat make these streams. I'm here to host and talk with you, but you know, if you guys weren't here in the chat, I'd be talking to myself and they wouldn't last very long. Nobody wants to see me talking to myself for 2 hours. We are changing the world. Friday, I was at the grocery store and saw so many angry folks. It was unbelievable. I still smiled and said hello, even if they didn't respond. Nice. I like that. I see you guys are off in the Discord chat. Hi, Herb. Herb has joined Discord. Let's wave to Herb in Discord. And Mark MD Stevenson says, thanks for that. Something I can read at work between calls. Let me see if there's another New Year's poem to read before we wrap up then, as the chat seems to have gone a little bit quiet. Maybe we have wrapped up this topic for this evening on purpose. But again, if you're watching playback, or even if you're, watching live right now, and then you have a thought after the stream, do come back and leave a comment. Yes, it helps the algorithm, but also I'm always here to chat, and we can. Excuse me. We can continue the conversation in the comments down below, or even in the new Discord. Excuse me. Oh dear. New Year's poems. Let's see what we got. Let's see what the Poetry Foundation has for us. New Year's Day, burning the old year, December 31st, snowfall on New Year's Eve. After the gentle poet Kobayashi Isa, mild is the parting year. Come on, give us something. So the garbage collectors in Bloomington, Indiana, the first pickup of the year. Year's End by Richard Wilbur. Let's see what this is. All right. Year's End by Richard Wilbur. When was this published? Not as late as early as 1948. I've got here. Year's End by Richard Wilbur. Now winter downs the dying of the year, and night is all a settlement of snow. From the soft street the rooms of houses show a gathered light, a shapen atmosphere, like frozen over lakes whose ice is thin and still allows some stirring down within. I've known the wind by water banks to shake the late leaves down, which frozen where they fell and held in ice as dancers in a spell fluttered all winter long into a lake. Graved on the dark in gestures of descent, they seemed their own most perfect monument. There was perfection in the death of ferns, which laid their fragile cheeks against the stone. Nice. A million years. Great mammoths overthrown composedly have made their long sojourns like palaces of patience in the grey and changeless lands of ice. And at Pompeii the little dog lay curled and did not rise, but slept the deeper as the ashes rose, and found the people incomplete, and froze the random hands, the loose, unreadied eyes of men expecting yet another sun to do the shapely thing they had not done. These sudden ends of time must give us pause. We fray into the future, rarely wrought, save in the tapestries of afterthought. More time, more time. Barrages of applause come muffled from a buried radio. The New Year bells are wrangling with the snow. Purpose is a frequency of alignment between who you are, what you carry, and what the world is quietly asking of you. When those three begin to resonate, the sight stirs. That is very wise. Thank you, Herb. That is some wisdom, parted wisdom from Mr. Herb right there. Okay, on that note, I guess we will wrap things up. Thank you so much for being with me here this evening, for taking part in Conversing with Poets. Of course, from me to you, I wish you all the best for 2026. Happy New Year. I won't be able to go live again. I won't be able to go live on New Year's Eve because I'll be working. And I'm not sure when our first stream of the year falls. Obviously, next Sunday, I guess. But what date would that be? Next Sunday is the 4th. So our next stream will be on the 4th. It will be the first write along of the year, the first write along for January. So I guess we'll wait until then. Do I have a prompt for you guys for next week? Breaking through snow. So obviously I've got snow on the mind, footsteps in the snow, and now I've got breaking through snow. So the prompt for next week will be breaking through snow. Getting through it, getting through whatever that snow may be. So that's the prompt for next week. I'll see you there. Let's do some fun writing. Woo! Write along. Yeah, that'll be next week. Again, thank you for your time. All the best for 2026. Have a safe New Year's Eve. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. And yeah, I'll see you on the 4th. Thank you so much, guys. Okay. Apparently my stream deck isn't working. I'm pressing the button and we're not going anywhere. I guess we'll have to go old school and just do it manually. See you later, guys.